Another one of Donald Trump's attorneys is facing an ethics complaint that could result, if things go the proper way that they should, in her being disbarred from practicing law, this time in the state of Colorado. And this person is none other than Jenna Ellis, who served as one of Donald Trump's attorneys. She was up there during some of these, press briefings with Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. And now a group has filed an ethics complaint against her with the Colorado bar, alleging that she has violated the bar guidelines and rules for the state of Colorado by, of course, pushing the false narrative that the 2020 election was stolen. Now, let me read this. It's from the Denver Post regarding the complaint. The bipartisan watchdog group States United Democracy Center filed a complaint against Ellis on Thursday with the Colorado Supreme Court's Office of Attorney Regulation Counsel, asking for an investigation into whether she violated her ethical obligations as an attorney. After the election, Ellis, quote, knowingly spread falsehoods about its results, helped Trump try to persuade former Vice President Mike Pence not to certify the election results by providing, quote, misleading legal advice and, quote, amplifying false theories of voter fraud. Ms. Ellis made numerous public misrepresentations alleging fraud in the election, even as federal and state election officials repeatedly found that no fraud had occurred that could have altered the outcome of the election, and even as Mr. Trump and his allies brought and lost over 60 lawsuits claiming election fraud or illegality. The complaint also cites 2 memos by Ellis claiming Pence could stop Biden's victory. All right, so here's what we're looking at here. This isn't necessarily about bringing bad lawsuits trying to challenge the election. That is what Sidney Powell and, of course, Lynn Wood have gotten popped for up in Michigan. So this one is a little bit different. Similar, of course, but different. This one is charging that Ellis was giving bad legal advice to her client, Donald J. Trump, then President of the United States. Now, that is a pretty serious charge. And honestly, that one carries a little bit more weight than what Powell was basically, found to have done up in Michigan. So this is actually more serious, because it's one thing to knowingly file a frivolous lawsuit, right? You do that because that's what your client wants. That's what you're trying to do, blah, 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 blah. It's bad, but of course, I don't want to say forgivable, but in the eyes of the law, a little bit forgivable. Giving a client knowingly bad advice, on the other hand, is what is called legal malpractice. Just like medical malpractice, right? Doctor screws up because they were careless, reckless, or just didn't care. You pop them for malpractice. Well, the same can be said and can happen to lawyers as well. And that is what this group is saying. Like, basically, she committed legal malpractice for using all of this bogus, legal arguments to convince Trump that he or Pence could do something that they could, in fact, not do. Now, here's an interesting little tidbit from about Ellis that I didn't know about. This was actually reported on Raw Story. Before working on Trump's legal team, Ellis previously worked as a prosecutor in the Weld County District Attorney's Office in Colorado, but was fired from that role for, quote, unsatisfactory performance, including failure to properly follow the procedures in Colorado's Crime Victim Rights Act. She now, of course, works as a commentator for Newsmax. So, yeah, you couldn't hack it in the prosecutor's office because you were so terrible. So, of course, it would make sense that you're giving bad legal advice to your client. How you landed the President of the United States as a client in the first place blows my mind. But it is what it is. You're facing this complaint, and hopefully this board in Colorado does decide to investigate you. Because if you're doing what this group said you did, you shouldn't be practicing law anymore. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.